Hey guys, it's Rick. Welcome back to the HD Vibe channel. If you like this type of content, whether it be rides, installs, reviews, and anything around motorcycles, Harley Davidsons, I ask that you please subscribe, and I'm glad you're here and to check out this video. So today, in honor of Veterans Day, I want to talk about, and also the month of giving thanks, is talk about an organization that I've become associated with here in the last year. And you know, as I think about it, the biker community gives a lot back to all of the communities with which we live. But this one, I think, is one that provides lots of opportunity for us as bikers that want to support veterans to give back, and that is the Patriot Guard Riders. And so let's get into that right after this. Hey, welcome back, guys. So as I said in the intro, I want to talk about the Patriot Guard Riders. So just to start off, the Patriot Guard Riders does have a website. It's patriotguard.org, and I will put a link to that in the description. But I want to tell you a little bit about the Patriot Guard Riders. You know, as I mentioned, we as a biker community do oftentimes give back, you know, in the form of poker runs to generate funds for charities, to support an individual that may be down on their luck or had an accident or whatever the case may be, or be ill, and we raise money. Those opportunities come around sort of once in a while and aren't really a recurring theme. But as it relates to the Patriot Guard, if you're not familiar with them, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what they do. So the Patriot Guard was actually formed on November 8th, 2005 in response to the protests that the Westboro Baptist Church was putting on at veterans and fallen heroes funerals, and essentially disturbing what should be a very honorable and respectful situation and a difficult time for the families of these fallen heroes and veterans, and being very disrespectful. So the Patriot Guard was formed essentially to create a barrier between the family and these protesters. And all of the activities that Patriot Guard Riders do is in a legal, peaceful manner. And some of those barriers can take the form of a flag line, a line of motorcycles, potentially if protesters are getting loud, to drown out that sound, revving motorcycle engines so that the family does not have to hear the disrespect that these groups were bringing to these very sacred times of these burial or transport situations for these fallen heroes or veterans. And so really, if you become a member of the Patriot Guard Riders, first of all, it doesn't cost you anything. Patriot Guard Riders, once you register at patriotguard.org, they will ask for the city and the state with which you live, and then you will begin to receive emails on missions that are upcoming in the following days, and sometimes they're even within a couple of days. And these missions can take a variety of forms, but first and foremost, I just want to express that the Patriot Guard Riders do not show up at a military or first responders funeral activities unless the family actually requests it. So it's only requested, the Patriot Guard Riders will only arrive and show up to do a mission at the request of the family. And the form with which that mission takes is also whatever the family requests. The Patriot Guard Riders are there to honor and respect that hero, not to do what the Patriot Guard Riders want to do, but what the family requests. So I just want to make that very clear. And so what the Patriot Guard Riders can do is they can provide a flag line, whether it be at an airport when the the body is flown in from a location to the hero's hometown or state, and create a flag line when that casket is being brought in to the city. And what I mean by a flag line is basically Patriot Guard riders with 3-foot by 5-foot flags, standing shoulder to shoulder, 2 lines of flags side by side with the flag in your left hand. And then as that casket comes by, if you are a veteran or active duty or first responder, you would salute that casket draped with the flag. Or if you were not a veteran or a first responder, you put your hand over your heart in respect for that fallen hero. And then typically after a flag line, especially if it's like at an airport, then the family will typically request that the Patriot Guard Riders escort the hearse from the airport, for example, to the funeral home. And so essentially we form a staggered formation, typically oftentimes led by police personnel in front of us, sometimes in motorcycles, sometimes in cars. And we escort that hearse from whatever location to the funeral home or even to the burial ground. Then the other activity that can take place is, again, when they get the Patriot Guard Riders escort to a funeral home, there could be, again, another flag line is that coffin is brought out of the hearse and brought into the funeral home, or it could just be an honor line. If the family doesn't request a flag line, the Patriot Guard, at the request of the family, will stand at attention and either salute or hand over the heart, again, as that coffin is brought out of the hearse and brought into the funeral home. If it's a mission to go to the burial location, sometimes the family will request that the Patriot Guard actually create a flag line at the burial location. So that can also happen. And then these missions, as I mentioned, can be for active duty personnel in any branch of the military that have passed away in some form or fashion, either killed in action or some other manner. It can be for veterans of any war or any branch of service that passed away in their elderly years. Or recently, I don't know at what point in time in years, but the Patriot Guard will also do similar missions or the same type of missions for first responders that have passed away. So most of the Patriot Guard Riders do actually provide or participate in these missions through their motorcycles. However, if you go to sign up to be a Patriot Guard Rider, there's no requirement to ride a motorcycle. If you don't have a motorcycle and you want to serve and give your time, you can ride in a car, or you can just show up for a flag line. The other, I think, interesting or important point to bring about is the Patriot Guard. It's not associated with any political party. It's not associated with any particular motorcycle groups, clubs, etc. It doesn't matter. Race, creed, color, doesn't matter. It's the only requirement, if you look on the patriotguard.org website, in order to be a Patriot Guard rider, Patriot Guard, you have to show respect for that fallen hero or veteran. That's the only requirement. It doesn't cost anything. The Patriot Guard is a registered 501(c) with the U.S. IRS. So your time and any donations you may make to the Patriot Guard, if you so choose, would be tax deductible potentially, but check with your tax advisor. It doesn't cost anything to register. There's no special requirements to be part of this organization other than, again, showing respect. And then the other activity that the Patriot Guard actually takes place in is, if you've ever heard of honor flights, essentially where organizations, I know it happens a lot here in St. Louis, where funds are raised to fly elderly veterans who were participants in, wars, around the Vietnam and Korean time now. It's probably where most may still be alive. They actually fly from their home city, in this case St. Louis, to Washington, D.C., and they spend time in Washington, D.C. seeing a lot of the war monuments and National Cemetery, Vietnam Wall, etc. And when they return, the Patriot Guard is called into action at a limited number of people to form, again, a flag line to honor those veterans as they're coming off the plane, have picked up their luggage and are exiting the airport. And oftentimes these veterans are elderly, and a lot of times Patriot Guard Riders are there to help them if family can't be there, to help them exit the airport. And I've participated in, not as a Patriot Guard Rider, but oftentimes they'll have the bands of junior high and high schools participate playing patriotic music, and my daughter was actually in the junior high band that played patriotic music when one of the honor flights came back into St. Louis, and I saw the Patriot Guard Riders there. So I personally have participated in some very large missions here in the last year in St. Louis, specifically for Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz, and I have a video that I'll link at the end to really show you, and this was just primarily an escort mission, but the enormity and the emotion of what can happen, especially in these big missions that the Patriot Guard takes place in. And I will tell you, the level of emotion that comes over you, especially in the big mission, was incredible. There were actually two big missions here in St. Louis for Jared Schmitz. One was the escort from the airport to the funeral home, and then a subsequent week or so later from the funeral home to Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery. And I hope you do go back and actually check out that video, because it's longer, but I think it truly shows you the level of honor and respect that the Patriot Guard Riders, the law enforcement, fire personnel, and just really the citizens of St. Louis, how they showed and came out to show their honor and respect for Jared Schmitz, who had fallen and was killed in action in Afghanistan back in August of this year. I've also participated in some smaller missions here in St. Louis, and again, those are just as emotional. In the smaller missions, you may participate in a flag line. The family is right there. They're very thankful. They come up and thank you for giving your time to honor their son, their daughter, husband, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, as they've paid the ultimate sacrifice for protecting our freedom in the United States of America. And again, the number of missions that happen, at least in the St. Louis area, is unbelievable. They're daily, if sometimes not multiple per day. And when you do go up and sign up at patriotguard.org, they'll ask for your location where you would typically participate in missions, and as soon as you do that, then you will get an email from the Patriot Guard local as to when these missions take place. In the St. Louis area alone, what I understand, typically there are about 500 plus missions per year. So if you think about it, 365 days a year, that's more than one per day, all year. And they need our help as a motorcycle community to make sure that someone can be there for any time that a family requests the Patriot Guard to be there. And the Patriot Guard Riders don't just show up. It's requested by the family to do these missions. So, what in this month of thanks and this video being released on Veterans Day, I ask that you consider checking out patriotguard.org, sign up. They don't care if you do one mission, 100 missions, one a year, whatever the case may be. They just want your help, and your help in showing respect for these heroes. So, with that, I'm going to cut this video off here. I'm going to say and leave you with this one thought. Life is short. Get out and ride the bike. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye now.